Well, it was great when we were here last time. Yeah, obviously, some memories of sitting here post race and enjoying ourselves a lot was really special. But like I've said, most of this year, that was last year, and everything is reset. We got to do it again.
Hi, Joey Wolfgang from Germany. Can you let me know concerning the new Aero package, advantages and disadvantages?
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal with changing the aero package is to try to make racing better at the short tracks. And I was here as part of the test. I will say of all the things we tried at the test, this is the best direction. It's something that honestly wasn't even in the cards to try while we were here. They kept cutting spoiler off it, and a few of the drivers were there like, why don't you just take all the Lexan off it? Why don't we just try that? Right, just take more, and because it kept going the right direction as we were doing that. So it's kind of how we ended up in this place now. Are you ever going to be able to fix dirty air? No, it's in every form of motorsports now, no matter what. Right, no matter what you're racing, the race cars depend on air at some level. But the less that is on the car, the less of a difference it is when you get behind another car. Right, and so there's no doubt in my mind this is the right direction. Is it the fix? I don't know if I'd call it the fix, but I think it's definitely the right direction to make racing better on the short tracks, and it'll make it a lot more fun for the drivers, and I think more entertaining for the fans because a few things. One, cars are harder to drive, and you're forced to move around the racetrack more. Which opens up opportunities to find clean air, right? That's one part that was a struggle last year is that everyone ran the same lane. Well, you can't even move around to find clean air. Now, we saw it in practice yesterday. Cars are already moving up into the second, third lane in practice. So it's pretty clear to me that that'll happen in the race. And, if you're a good car and you can run the bottom, you're going to pass some cars. So there's some more options for the drivers, more fall off, which is something we've always asked for. Right, there'll be more comers and goers possibly as drivers may overuse their tires and abuse it and, or get their balance off from short run to long run and just make some more passing on the racetrack, which is directionally good for racing.
Cameron
Richardson, NASCAR.com. Joey, it seems whenever there's a new experiment, you're the guy to beat. LA Clash, Gateway, first next-gen champ, and then a couple years ago when it went back to low downforce in 2020, you were the winner as well. Is it just something that before the race weeks when it's something new that it's something you mentally prepare for, or is it just a testament to your talents and the team?
I think it's a lot on the team, if I'm being honest. I think as a team we adapt very quickly. I think we're able to have a lot of different discussions around things, and even during the race we can adapt, as we see things because the racing will be different, right? So as far as on track, Coleman and myself will definitely be dissecting that as the race goes and have an idea of where we want to be on restarts and picking lanes. But as far as the car setup and stuff, where Paul works on the car and Penske in general does that, for whatever reason, change has been good for us. I don't know why that is, but it seems like we've been able to adapt fairly quickly on things. And, this is, yes, a big change in the Aero package, but it is and it isn't. Right? I mean, the parts and pieces that made a lot of cars really strong last week, I expect to keep them really strong this week as well, whether it's the big spoilers or small spoilers.
We're going to go to Claire and then Bob.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Kyle Busch said that about the package, that he drives it really on the edge. And so with this being more difficult, more in control of the drivers, and he's got to find that new edge or whatever, because he hangs it on the edge. Can you talk about what adjustment, even though it's not a lot different maybe, that you have to make in a basic, easy to understand format, right? That you have to change in order to...
Yeah. I mean, it basically, to me, the driver is more impactful when you take downforce away from the car. When you're forced to use your feet and your hands more, right? You're off the gas more. You got to use the brake more. You got to modulate all that stuff. You got to be smoother with things. And then I feel like that separates the field a little bit. because it not only is it that's how you make speed, but it's also what direction your car is going to go on the long haul and what tires you're using the most and what that fall off looks like. Like all these things go that way. And it's really closer back to what we were when we had the small spoilers on the car. Right? I mean, I think that's the right step. I still feel like we need more horsepower, but I think that's just a race car driver in me that always wants more horsepower. But I think the whole field probably wants more power. But, I think directionally we're going the right way, right? Because taking drag out, that's essentially adding power, right? And taking downforce away also just gets you off the gas and using the brakes some more.
So do you have to adjust then
How you drive, yeah. You have to adjust everything. How you drive, what you look for, what speed's going to be like, what restarts will look like. It completely resets a lot of things, which is fine. It's good.
Bob.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. In a couple weeks going to COTA, it'll be kind of the 1 year anniversary since Trackhouse's first win. So in light of that, my question to you is, when did you start considering Trackhouse as a team that you would be competing against for the championship?
I mean, we saw speed in their cars fairly early in the year, right? It's kind of right off the bat, and you're like, okay, well, new car, let us all figure it out. We'll see if they're still there. Well, obviously, they're still there. They're still there now, with really hitting every area for the most part when it comes to speed, right? Even on pit road, they're super fast. So they've done a good job at bringing the heat to the racetrack for sure. And I'd say at this point, it's not some one-off thing, right? That's what I kind of was. I thought, well, honestly, it was what I was hoping. But I'd say they're definitely a competitor that's here to stay.
Go ahead.
Coop Burns, BlazeRadioOnline.com. You talked a couple questions ago about things being a little different with the Aero package and kind of having to change your driving style. With practice last night, did you notice anything similar that you can carry with from your win in November that you can carry to this weekend?
It's very different. Right, I mean, the car is just going to drive worse, right? Like, no matter how much you work on it, it's not going to drive as good as it did last fall. It's just no downforce on the car in comparison. So it definitely just, to me, it felt a lot more like the old cars did, where you're sliding the back a little bit more into the corners. You're fighting a little bit more of the LTL, right? The loose in, tight center, loose off. Like, it just seems like it has more of that, which makes sense. There's less downforce. The car is going to be crappier to drive. And as long as everyone else's car does that, it's good racing, right? Like, you don't want to be the only one like that, but I'm pretty sure everyone was hanging on a lot more than what they were.